Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is August 15th, 2026. We're going to read from 1 Samuel. We're going to read chapter 5 and 6, and then we're going to go to Romans and read chapter 5. All right, so Samuel 5 and 6. Again, comparing and contrasting things. We saw how little the Israelites thought of God. It was just an ark, just a thing that they could take, and then God would have to save them from the Philistines and give them victory. And they end up being defeated handily, and they lose the ark. We saw Eli and his sons die, all Israel in an uproar. They've lost the ark. Haven't lost God, but they've lost the symbol, and they're putting more weight into the symbol. So the Philistines have the ark, and we're going to compare how the Philistines react to the ark and look at it as how the Israelites were looking at the ark. All right, so 1 Samuel, we're going to read chapter 5 and 6. Then the Philistines took the ark of God, and they brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. So that's their God, and symbolically they have defeated Yahweh is the idea here. And they're going to put it in Dagon's temple and show that Yahweh is subservient to Dagon. That's the idea. And the idea is essentially gods are regional. So Dagon is their god in their region. He's more powerful than any other god that would come into his region. And when the people of Ashdod, verse 3, arose early in the morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. So they took Dagon and they set it in its place again. So they wake up in the morning and Dagon has symbolically bowing down to the ark. And when they arose early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen on its face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. The head of Dagon and both the palms of its hands were broken off on the threshold. Only Dagon's torso was left of it. So cut off his head and cut off his hands, which is what you would do what the Philistines would do to an enemy king that they've captured. So not only did Dagon bow down, but God showing that, no, I'm the God. Period. Dagon is nothing but an idol. To decapitate him. Verse 5, therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any who come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod to this day. So that was their answer to what happened as well. Dagon's head and his hands were on the threshold. We won't walk on the threshold. Not to recognize, maybe the God of the ark is superior to Dagon. Verse 6, but the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territory. When the men of Ashdod saw how it was, they said, the ark of the God of Israel must not remain with us, for his hand is harsh toward us, and Dagon our God. So they understand they're being punished by God. Therefore they sent and gathered to themselves all the lords of the Philistines, and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And he answered, let the ark of the God of Israel be carried away to Gath. So they carried the ark of the God of Israel away. So it was, after they had carried it away, that the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he struck the men of the city, both small and great, and tumors broke out on all of them. Talking about rats and tumors. So it's probably something like the bubonic plague is breaking out. Verse 10, therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. So every city that they send the ark to is followed by plagues. So it was, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought the ark of God of Israel to us to kill us and our people. So they sent and they gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it go back to its own place, so that it does not kill us and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there, and the men who did not die were stricken with the tumors, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. So they fear God. Specifically, they feared the ark. The Israelites were just treating it as a thing that they could use to invoke God, but the Philistines are afraid of God. They recognize power there. Chapter 6, now the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, what shall we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we should send it to its place. So they said, if you send away the ark of God of Israel, do not send it empty, but by all means return it to him with a trespass offering. Then you will be healed, and it will be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. So we'll send it back, and we'll try and buy repentance from him. Verse 4, then they said, what is the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden tumors and 5 golden rats, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines, for the same plague was on all of you and on your lords. So we'll make replicas of the plague, and that will satisfy Yahweh, so they think. Therefore you shall make images of your tumors and images of your rats that ravage the land, and you shall give glory to the God of Israel. Perhaps he will lighten his hand from you, from your gods, and from your land. Why then do you harden your hearts as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts when he did mighty things among them? Did they not let the people go that they might depart? Now therefore make a new cart, take 2 milk cows which have never been yoked, and hitch the cows to the cart, and take their calves home away from them. Hey, we'll send it back, but we're going to send it back by getting 2 cows that have never pulled out of the cart, so they probably will just stop right where they are. And we'll take their calves away and hide them where they can see them, so they will probably walk towards their calves. Then take the ark of the Lord and set it on the cart, and put the articles of gold which you are returning to him as a trespass offering in a chest by its side. Then send it away and let it go. And watch. If it goes up the road to its own territory, to Beth-Shemesh, then he has done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that struck us. It happened to us by chance. So they've stacked the odds for we can believe it was by chance. Again, they take cows that don't pull carts. They take the calves, so the cows are going to want to go to their calves. If he walks to the specific city in the opposite direction, then we'll know it was God. The tumor is striking us every time we take the ark somewhere new. We don't understand that. We're gonna. Maybe we really are supposed to keep it. Verse 10, then the men did so. They took 2 milk cows and hitched them to the cart, and they shut up their calves at home, and they set the ark of the Lord on the cart, and the chest with the gold rats and the images of their tumors. Then the cows headed straight for the road to Beth-Shemesh, and went along the highway, lowing as they went, so they did miss their calves, and did not turn aside to the right hand or the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them to the border of Beth-Shemesh. Now the people of Beth-Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted their eyes, and they saw the ark, and they rejoiced to see it. Then the cart came into the field of Joshua of Beth-Shemesh, and stood there. A large stone was there. So they split the wood of the cart, and offered the cows as a burnt offering to the Lord. They touched the ark, they pulled the ark, so they can't really do anything except be a sacrifice at that point, unfortunately, for us cow lovers. Verse 15, the Levites took down the ark of the Lord and the chest that was with it, in which were the articles of gold, and put them on the large stone. Then the men of Beth-Shemesh offered burnt offerings and made sacrifices the same day to the Lord. Beth-Shemesh is a Levite city, so they could handle the ark. Verse 16, when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. These are the golden tumors which the Philistine returned as a trespass offering to the Lord, 1 for Ashdod, 1 for Gaza, 1 for Ashkelon, 1 for Gath, 1 for Ekron, and the golden rats, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both fortified cities and country villages, even as far as the large stone of Abel on which they set the ark of the Lord, which stone remains to this day in the field of Joshua of Beth-Shemesh. So this is, again, probably not written by Samuel, it's written afterwards, but apparently this person writing it, they know where the stone is, they can see the golden articles of tumors and rats, so well-known story for them. Verse 19, then he struck the men of Beth-Shemesh because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. He struck 50,070 men of the people, and the people lamented because the Lord had struck the people with a great slaughter. So they get the ark back, and rather than revere the ark, which the Philistines revered it, Philistines never looked inside. These guys, hey, let's go look inside. Who's gonna know? Well, God knew. And it says he wipes out 50,000, which seems to be a really big number. Probably is maybe a scribal error. The number has been elevated. We don't know. But the main point is, again, they violate the ark. However many it was, they're Levites, they should have known better. They should have certainly revered the ark more than the Philistines did, and the Philistines never even looked in it. Verse 20, and the men of Beth-shemesh said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord God, and to whom shall it go up from us? So they want to get rid of the ark, just like the Philistines did. So they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath-jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought back the ark of the Lord. Come down and take it up with you. And we'll get the rest of this story tomorrow. So until then, may God bless the reading of His word, and may God bless you. Bye.